And welcome into the Friday edition, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robbie Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you on this Friday morning, live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership where the buzz is always about great service. Joe Rexrode, happy Friday. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I actually just got a text on my personal text line as the show was starting. Maybe you can... This is from Dane from Nolensville. It says, "Make it farting stop, dude." I don't know what that would be referencing, but I don't know. I'm just saying. This is the text I got. So, I wonder what that would be referencing.
I would just say that there's typically, Ian, a certain artist that may or may not appear before our show that people send to respond to. Quite frankly, if I could speak today, it'd be good. People seem to respond to, and it's made me speechless.
Yeah. So okay. So that's it. All right.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Take your breath away.
Hey, exactly. Yeah, breathtaking. It's like
that's
the
a
baby
great
in Seinfeld. He's breathtaking. What does that mean? Is that bad or good? I don't know.
Maybe both.
Well, maybe.
Depends on your preferences and how your ears work.
It does. It depends on all that.
We're all different in our own special way.
Ian Safar, how we doing?
Oh, doing great, guys. Happy Friday to everybody. Cool moon this morning on my way in. I don't know. Is that like
it's like a planet next
there?
To it? Yeah.
I must have missed that.
Yeah.
But it was like just like the sliver, and there's like a giant, it looked like a star. So it must be some type of planet. Like right there, almost looked like something out of a video game.
Venus.
Okay.
Just figured it out. Venus.
So yeah, it's like
we can see Venus, and I totally missed it.
Yep.
Huh?
And it was cool. It looked like something.
I mean, it's legitimately right next to the
video
moon.
game.
Yeah.
But
I looked up. I was like, I don't know what that is. Maybe a planet. Turns out it's Venus. That's good to know.
Okay. Yeah. I almost want to go check
outside,
it out, but I guess I can't now because we're doing the show.
I'll be back.
Yeah.
Just walk out the door.
I tried to take a picture, but didn't really come through on my phone.
Yeah.
But
okay. Well, I'll still send it over.
Are the Northern Lights coming back around here anytime soon? Because that was cool. Like a year ago when that happened.
I don't know.
Good talk.
Yeah. Good question.
Yep. That's what I'm here for. Joe, I got bad news for you, of which you already know. The Detroit Tigers have lost again to the Cleveland Guardians.
Oh, boy.
What's going on around here?
No, I mean, it's going to be, I think back to their GM when he didn't do diddly at the trading deadline when he had the best team in baseball, knowing that he has the best pitcher in baseball this year and next year. And he said, our job is make the playoffs every year. And I said to myself, no, your job is to win a championship. We don't care. I mean, of course, everybody would like to be successful every year, but no, really, like the job is to win a championship. And now he's about to not make the playoffs this year.
They are 3-7 in their last 10. Cleveland on a hot streak. They've won 7 in a row, 9 of their last 10. Cleveland making a push here toward the end.
And they get the Tigers at home next week. So I'm prepared for complete disaster.
Well,
sorry to all you folks who
have adopted the team.
Yeah, who decided that you'd join me and Grandma Pratt with the Tigers. But they have a 3.5 game lead with 9 games left. So I guess I can't. It's like still. Well, you can.
A lot of Braves fans around here. A lot of Braves fans around here. And look, we all need to be Tigers fans this weekend. Tigers, this is an opportunity here. 3 games coming up against the Braves to right the ship a little bit. As we all know, the Braves have not had a good year. So let's just go ahead and finish off not having that good year right now and get the Tigers back into the driver's seat where you feel comfortable.
I hope so, man. I mean, it would be truly an all-time. I mean, I think the biggest lead was 16.5. I think that's right. Yeah, I mean, they had the biggest lead in the division almost the entire year in a division race almost the entire year. And here they are just completely squandering it. So it's pretty rough. I guess, you know what? Save me some stress in October. Just have some rage in late September and save me some stress in October.
A lot of conversation on the YouTube chat right now about how Rexrode looks like he's sitting at the kids' table.
I'll have to fix the camera during the breaks.
I don't know if is it a camera thing, is it a chair height thing? What do we think here?
I got the chair. Let me see.
Just beautifully executed over there.
I think this is about as high as it goes. Is that
welcome into Rexrode's kids' table. Just beautiful. Beautiful stuff.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that, viewers.
We got a lot to get into on the program today. Teron Davenport will be with us at 8 o'clock. We will look ahead to the Titans and the Colts. We got a lot of Titans thoughts to get into today. Pigskin Pick'em coming up at 8:30. And let me just tell you, if you haven't been tuning into Pigskin Pick'em, you might want to, because Ian Safar may set a human record when it comes to this competition. He is 14-4 through the first 3 weeks. So that's pretty incredible. Pretty good stuff from Ian.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where I expect it to come back to earth, but at some point, if it doesn't, we need to, get Ian, like get him his own, handicapping website or something, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like if you're gonna be that good at it, then you should be doing it professionally.
Yeah, I agree.
So we may be launching a new career for you, Ian.
The Buffalo Bills win 31-21 last night on Thursday Night Football against the Miami Dolphins. I actually thought, given what we've seen from Miami the first couple of weeks, it was a fairly good fight from the Dolphins, but they dropped to 0-3. Buffalo improves to 3-0. Buffalo didn't cover, so you can take some solace in that, I guess, if you want to, if you're a Dolphins fan, but not going well for the Dolphins and Mike McDaniel and Josh Allen continuing to be Josh Allen, 22 of 28. 213 yards, 3 touchdowns, quarterback rating of 134.1 last night. And he really didn't run it all that much. I think he ran it 4 times for 25 yards. So another performance from the Bills where you walk away and you say, yeah, I don't even know that they played all that great. And here they are 3-0 and cooking on all cylinders up there in Buffalo.
Yeah, well, it was a more entertaining game than I, anticipated, honestly. And the Dolphins were kind of going up downfield a little bit on them. But it's just basically Bills by double figures is almost like a rule of life in the NFL when they play the Dolphins. So, I guess it's like, I saw some people, hey, the Dolphins haven't given up completely on Mike McDaniel. So congrats on that, I guess.
Good to know 3 weeks into the year.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's good to know. But, yeah, seems like that's going one clear way, and the Bills just continue to roll. They're good.
Mike McDaniel, according to OddsShark, the overwhelming favorite to be the first coach fired in the league this year. Minus 500 odds. Pretty large favorite. Can you guess who number 2 in the National Football League is?
I don't think it's Brian Callahan. I know there's someone obvious that we've even talked about that who is now eluding me. Probably Daboll.
He's number 3. Brian Callahan's number 2.
Oh, Callahan is number 2.
Callahan's number 2.
Really?
Yep.
And
according to OddsShark. Yeah.
And those odds are what?
It is plus 350
to be the
first coach fired.
Guy. Interesting. Okay. Well, Callahan's moving up then.
Yes, he is. Not what you want to see.
Yeah.
Daboll is number 3, so you got him.
Yeah, I know this is different than Vegas odds, but we had that question at The Athletic, and I don't think Callahan registered in the top 5. But then it's like, is that just
do people understand the Titans play football?
Yeah, people just forgetting the Titans exist might be the answer there.
Yeah, I saw a video. I think it was on like TikTok or something yesterday, and I guess they went around to it was Barstool. Like they went around to all their employees, and they were like, which team is going to finish the worst in the league this year? And there's a ton of Saints, Bears, a lot of votes for the Jets. Nobody voted for the Titans. And it was like, oh, yeah, the Titans. They play football, huh? It's good stuff. They're in the NFL. I think people just totally forget that the Titans are there.
Right. Like they're like Belichick calls himself the 33rd team.
Yeah.
But it's like really people think there's only 31.
Yeah. They're like, oh, wait, yeah. Tennessee.
We're the 32nd team.
This is a low T alert.
Poor Titans. Or maybe in times like these, maybe it's not that bad.
They're going to take notice this weekend when the Titans march in there to Nissan Stadium and take down the Indianapolis Colts 24-21, which will happen. as I've said multiple times this week.
Sure.
It's going to happen this weekend, and I hope it's been clipped this week so we can play it coming up on Monday morning when it's the same score as I say and the Titans win.
What is it again?
24-21.
Okay.
Tennessee Titans. I'm not going crazy thinking they're going to win, like, get into the 30s or anything.
That's like predicting the 2007 New England Patriots to score like 110 points in a game. Predicting the Titans to score 24.
It's like 24.
Look at you going out on a limb.
An offensive explosion. Speaking of the Tennessee Titans, some interesting comments from Cam Ward earlier this week that don't have anything to do with the game on Sunday, but are pretty interesting when you look at it, and it's right up Joe Rexrode's alley. We'll get into that. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game.
What adjustments can you make to kind of better protect the ball in the pocket? Obviously, you don't want to fumble like you had in the fourth quarter last game on Sunday. What adjustments do you think you can make there in that front?
Just keeping two hands on the ball. Just always knowing where my outlet is, and trying to get grass in the new stadium.
Have you mentioned any grass to anyone in particular on it, or is that just some kind of a joke?
Oh no, I ain't mentioning yet. It'll get mentioned eventually. But I mean, we practice on grass while we don't play on grass.
That's Cam Ward earlier this week talking about the grass. It's like, hey man, we practice on grass out here. Why ain't we playing on grass at Nissan Stadium? Why ain't we having grass at the new Nissan Stadium? Let's get that figured out there.
Because your owner's cheap. If you didn't know that answer, I'm sure he does. There it is.
Well,
she's not alone, but that's what the answer is.
Well, I mean, is it too late? I mean, they've already made the decision to not have grass in the new stadium. So can they change it at this point?
Oh, they won't.
Oh, I know they won't. Could they?
Sure. Why couldn't they? I mean, what do they? I mean, right now it's coming together out there.
Sure,
but I don't think they've got the turf down.
No, they do not.
That'd be a pretty bad construction.
Wow, turf's down 2 years early. How about that?
Oh, dust and nails and stuff keep falling on the turf. Sure, that'll be fine. No, they could do it. It's look, this is, first of all, good on him. First of all, let me give credit to Gentry Estes, friend of the show, wrote a column about this, which I got to find I love the headline on it. Cam Ward versus the turf is my new favorite subplot of Titan season. So we heard that, but he's made other references.
Yeah. Well,
he's big on this.
He's big on this, and
he's 100% right.
Speaking of Gentry, the first line of his piece is very good. Blaming season for the Tennessee Titans is like pumpkin flavoring. It keeps arriving earlier each fall.
That's poetry right there.
That is good stuff there.
July 4th, pumpkin time. Woo!
So we had this discussion when the new stadium was announced about the turf and whether or not they should play on natural grass. And pretty quickly after we started having that discussion, it was determined that they're not going to play on natural grass. So the stadium, the one they've got right now, it's not on natural grass. So I'm with you. They're not going to change it. Like at this point, I think it kind of is what it is. I don't know all the logistics now that go into it with trying to have natural grass on a completely enclosed stadium that's not retractable. I don't know anything about all that stuff. I'm not a groundskeeper out there, but I do find it interesting that the quarterback is already like, yeah, man, it sure would be nice to play on natural grass around here at some point if we're going to practice on it.
Right. I mean, he slipped last week on something that wouldn't have happened with grass. And now, of course, this also brings up to me, the stadium again, this tremendous stadium at tremendous cost. However you want to spin anything, dice it up, it's the most public money ever for a stadium. And I've heard the spin about, this is what you can't have a roof. I mean, retractable roof. I mean, how much would you really use that? Well, let's keep every home game this year. This will be 2 for 2. Let's keep track of what days it would be nice to have open air for a football game. I bet you it'll be all but about 1 or 2 because we don't live in Indianapolis. We live in Nashville, Tennessee.
I don't know. It was pretty hot the other day.
Well, I guess that's true. I guess, if you want to be soft, I mean, that's fine.
I mean, it's not hot for me because I love that stuff, but I heard people that went to Nissan Stadium say it was pretty hot.
Okay, well, that's fine.
It's going to be 91 on Sunday.
It's about $300 million more to the cost that they should have done. If you're going to do this big thing, don't be cheap. Make it the best possible thing it can be. A retractable roof would have done that.
I agree. And
now the grass is very simple. The NFL put out they had some study where, it's like, I'm not sure it really is safer. And and then the Titans tried to have this. I mean, I remember Vrabel participated in this with some dumb quote in a press release about, late in the year, the grass gets, and then it's actually more dangerous then. The information, the preponderance.
Sure.
The bulk of the information tells you the grass is safer. The bulk of the information tells you the grass is more expensive. If they do this with a stadium, they have to have it on the trays, which is what they do in Arizona. Do they do that in Vegas? I don't know. They do it in Arizona.
Yeah, they do. They definitely do it in Arizona.
It's more expensive. Also, you're playing on grass, as you should. As all football players want to do, they want to play on grass. So here we go. Cam Ward, the whole franchise is supposed to be built around Cam Ward, right? I mean, he's already, and good for him, he's already barking about this, and I love it because it's ridiculous, and it needs to be called out. I mean, I understand, like, we're already, like, out here calling out all the bad football stuff and everything, but this is, to me, inexcusable cheapness that is putting your players, your employees, the product, the reason people know who you are, in harm's way.
Well,
why is that okay?
I love that he's willing to say it, because I think there's a lot of players and quarterbacks in his position that are rookies that are early in their career that wouldn't even bother saying stuff like this. And I think one thing we learned about Cam Ward, I have no idea if he's going to end up being a great quarterback or not. He's not afraid to speak his mind, and I like that. Like, yes. I enjoy the fact that, you know, even if some of it you look at and you're like, really? You think Tony Pollard's top 5 running back in the league? You think Traylon Burks is top 5? Okay, cool. I'm not like he will speak his mind, and I am totally fine with that. So I enjoy that we're 2 weeks into his NFL season or career, and he's already like, yeah, it sure would be nice to play on some natural grass out there, wouldn't it? At the end of the day, is that the biggest issue facing the Titans right now? Of course not. But I do love that Cam Ward, this early in his career, is not afraid to tell people what he thinks.
Yeah, and look, just again, he slipped once. You know, it's you really hope someone doesn't get hurt. You know, seriously. I know. Then you always get into, well, I mean, how do you know? You know, is that really the turf that you would attribute it to? You know, I think, for example, like Derrick Henry's injury suffered in Indianapolis. You know, that's one of those. I believe, what's his name? Is it Dr. David Chow?
Yes.
I believe it was him, or maybe another Twitter doctor pointed out that, like, that's one of those where.
What's his name?
What's that?
What's his name? Dr. What's his name pointed it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Dr. What's his name? Twitter doctor pointed out that, like, that's one of the, like, that's the type of an injury, like the pounding, for example, where if you had it on grass, you might not have the same injury. I mean, that's the, you know, obviously you can have a non-contact, easily get hurt on grass. I mean, there's a bunch of injuries. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But some of the wear and tear injuries, and even if they're not big injuries, what people always say, and I think actually Tannehill was outspoken about this too when he was here, is how you feel after a game on grass versus how you feel after a game on turf. I think Aaron Rodgers just talked about this. A lot of people have talked about this. It's worlds apart. And look, I can't speak to that, but I believe that these guys aren't lying, you know? So again, like, at this point, you know, we used to be in the NFL and in sports, used to be these new stadiums of the 70s, and they just played on painted cement. Ooh. You know? And so we've come a long way with the turf. The turf is certainly better. It's more grass-like. It's closer. And, you know, the Titans in the indoor, they have the same turf that they have on the field, but it is like, most of their time is spent on grass. So even the injury, just take it to consistency of performance. Would it not help you to have the same surface, practice, and
I mean,
game?
You would think, you know, that part of it for sure. You would think. I mean, you mentioned the old days of the turf. Like I told you and Paul the other day, I was watching on YouTube, came across highlights from the 2000 Titans. And they're up there at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. And it's like, man, look at that field. Looks like if you fell on it, you'd break every bone in your body. Like, it's crazy. Just the turf that they used to play on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think that the last part you hit on is what kind of stands out to me. Like, practice on what you play on, right? Like, just if you're going to practice on grass, it'd be nice to have you playing on grass out there. One texter says, here's the thing. I hate turf, but Nissan Stadium is used by too much stuff, and the grass has been terrible. We're in a transition zone as well as far as not being able to grow in grass. You have TSU, concerts, other things, and it's just not going to be a good product. Ed says, does anyone remember when we had grass? The field was a joke halfway through the year. It was an ice hockey rink.
Yeah. No, that was their point. And I understand the idea of you have other things there, right? So it's not just you using it. Fine. Okay. So you're moving to a new stadium. And again, the method of that is the grass, like on these trays that you bring in. It's more expensive. But to me, it seems as if you could do that, have that as your system, and then when with other things, like obviously, who cares for a concert? You're not bringing it out for that, right? So, or if you have, the Final Four or whatever big events, it's not even. It's just it stays in wherever the heck they keep it, wherever the heck Arizona keeps their trays of grass, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So moving forward, do this. You can still do this. Don't be cheap. Invest. This is your personal ATM. This franchise is going to is making you so much money, and you know it. Anybody who's lucky enough to own a team in this league, you are printing money. So don't be cheap and do something that's good for your players.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. Rexrode, passionate about how the Titans need to get some grass, and apparently the franchise quarterback is with it. We'll continue to take your thoughts on that. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Tomorrow's college football game of the week is Auburn taking on Oklahoma at 2:30 on 94.9 The Fan. Presented by Twin Peaks Restaurants and Circa Sportsbook Kentucky. Coverage also available in the Game Nashville app and at theGameNashville.com. Taking your thoughts on the Titans at 615-737-1025. 615-737-1025. For those reaching out, yes, we are aware that we are having some issues on the radio right now. We are working to fix that. In the meantime, tell your friends, YouTube, the app, or check out the app. You can check it out on YouTube, Twitter, wherever you want to get the program, and we will hopefully have the signal fixed here in a second on the radio. So looking forward to that. 615-737-1025. Ron says, good morning, guys. I'm old school, and I like how weather and conditions on the field of play a huge part in the game, in the elements, and it's up to your organization to give you a playable field. Well, that's the thing here, Joe. Like, you don't have to worry about the elements that much here. Like, yeah, I mean, it's probably going to rain at some point here. But, like, how many Titans games have they played in the snow here, right? Like, I don't think it's been very many. There's been some, but it hasn't been very many where you've had to worry about, oh, my goodness, there's enough snowfall out here we got to move. We got to get the plow out here.
Yeah.
We can't even see the yard lines. It's crazy out here.
Well, it's like that game, that famous snowplow game with it was definitely in New England, Patriots Dolphins.
Yeah.
And that was back in the day of people playing on painted cement.
Yeah.
Now, see, the turf in like Cleveland is an example. If you remember, like the old, I guess it would have been Municipal Stadium where the Browns played, that certainly was a place that by mid-November, certainly in December, like it was like they're just playing on mud with some grass. So I get having, especially now that we've made these advances in turf, it is better, it's safer, it's close. So in places like that, I totally get it. But look, seriously, and I would say this about any dome you want, as long as you have the technological ability to maintain the grass. Detroit, they should be doing the grass thing. I mean, all these places, just because the turf is better and it's closer doesn't mean it's as good as grass. These freaking owners, really? Like how could you possibly try to justify being cheap about anything when it comes to your product, when it comes to the safety of your players? Every year in this league, we're already in a crisis of losing great players and altering the NFL season because of it. Cincinnati's out of its quarterback again, right? I'm not saying that's because of grass, but I'm saying anything that you can do to help the math on keeping players healthier, it's unconscionable to me that would not be an action you would take as a billionaire owning a football team in this league. It's really absurd. It's kind of disgusting.
Santa says the stadium, in my opinion, is not being built for football. It's being built for other events where weather impacts attendance, concerts, CMA Fest, etc. I mean, I agree with that to a certain degree, but like if you do the retractable roof, you can just throw the roof up, right? Like if you're doing a concert, just do the roof. That's why the retractable roof would have made, I think, a lot of sense.
Yeah, look, I've been to several Colts games where the roof was open. It was fantastic. And I know their whole thing, that was the Titans. I mean, the spin was coming out heavy on, well, like, look at how rarely. I'm like, yeah, well, 4.5, 5 hours south, you think maybe there's a little bit of a difference? Do we not have, like, we absolutely have November Sundays that are open air friendly where it wouldn't be in Indy.
In the 60s.
Can we all agree on that?
I would agree.
So but that ship has sailed. Do something that's not cheap.
Rexrode's going to march into the Titans office, be like, scrap the plans, baby. Bring the retractable roof back. Take the cranes down. Let's start over.
Well, actually, I mean, I got to go drive by it. I mean, I don't think they've got, like, do they have the roof on at this point?
I don't think the roof is on.
So, okay.
I think some beams and pillars and all that other stuff is in place that may impact the roof, but roof's not on yet.
I mean, if it's not on, it's not too late, I guess, right? I'm trying. I mean, I've given up on that, but the grass thing really, yeah. So Liam says players get hurt on grass too. I know, Liam. I know they do. I didn't say that grass is some magical fountain of youth where, ooh, it's like E.T. Oh, Elliot, ouch, and I mean, shut up.
Brian says,
I didn't even read the rest of the text. Sorry, Liam. He said, should play in a big field of banana pudding then. Everyone would be safe. All right.
now we're
You're
talking.
just messing with me.
Now
Liam.
we're talking.
You're just messing with me.
Brian says, thanks a lot, guys. Now I've got something else to watch and complain about with the Titans. Have a great weekend. Way to go, guys. We hadn't reached that quota yet of complaining about the Titans. Now we can talk about the grass.
Have we done enough complaining about the football team? Here's something else. No, this is all Cam Ward.
In fairness, the quarterback did it, not us this time.
Yeah, no, Cam Ward generated this discussion, and I really appreciate it. I do. The thing about Cam Ward is, yes, Traylon Burke's top 5 receiver. That'll always be part of his legacy.
Good stuff.
But I do like how he also goes out of his way, even if it's he throws a pass that obviously should be caught. He's like, yeah, I mean, I should have, placed the ball. I should have found a way to teleport myself downfield and just hand the ball off to him. That's on me. Okay, he goes overboard and trying to take the blame for everything, which I think is great. That's cool. But also now I love this. Absolutely. It's a totally valid question. We practice on grass, and then on Sundays we go out here and play on this stuff. Why?
I hope he doesn't slip on Sunday. If he slips on Sunday because of the playing surface, I mean, you're going to lose it on Monday morning.
Well,
that long fuse will be back on full display.
Again, it's just the data is, again, the NFL, I don't know. I don't remember this. They came out with something that's well, actually.
Yeah.
Well, the NFLPA is well, here's decades of data that refutes that, but thank you. It's safer to play on grass. There's no one who would in good faith argue otherwise. It's not totally safe, but over time, it's better for injuries. It's better for wear and tear. So it's we think of injuries, but what about if it really is if the recovery is that much harder week after week after week, are you not potentially performing better if you play on grass every week compared to someone who's, I mean, is that not, I would think that would at least be arguable, right?
Maybe.
So again, why would you not want not only data that says more health, fewer injuries, but also just better performance, easier recovery?
What do you think Amy thought when she saw our quarterback talking about how they don't have grass out there? What do you think her thoughts were?
I don't know.
Now, Cam, we already going with turf. I don't need you to be calling me out publicly like that.
Think she sent him a text?
Maybe. I'm asking you.
I don't know, man. I hope she heard it. I mean, who knows? Does it get to Texas? I mean, does it reach Texas? I don't know.
Does Amy watch all of the media availabilities with her quarterback? I don't know.
This is a great question.
I don't know the answer.
I really don't know. Some people just want underlings to tell them what's going on.
I would, if I were owner, I would watch the media availabilities with the coach and quarterback. Now, I don't know that I would go beyond that, but the coach and quarterback I would watch. Just get a sense of what's going on out there.
Yeah. I mean, if I owned a football team, I think I'd probably want to be informed on everything.
Get the headset.
Well, people are saying, well,
Rexrode would have the headset on the sideline.
It's a thing now.
Hey, what play call is that? Where's that at on the sheet?
My question is
53B. Sounds good.
With these headsets. So Brady and Irsay's daughter.
Yeah.
I assume then they have the ability to pipe in?
I mean, I hope not. I hope they're
it's just a listen only.
Brady would be one thing. Brady, say what you will about that whole setup, but he's the greatest quarterback of all time. So if he wants to pipe in, sure.
I guess.
The owner, I don't know that you need. Well, wait a minute, guys. Have you thought about running the ball here? It's 3rd and 11. We should run.
I think a draw play would really catch him off guard. Honestly, if I was one of the coaches, I don't care what Brady did previously in his career. And someone pointed this out this week. I mean, he's never around during the week, apparently. So I'd be pretty pissed if he actually tried to pipe in shut up.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just saying, at least that would you would he's played pretty high level football
at least
for a long time.
He understands what a play call means.
The owner out there just be guys, I think this diagram here on section 37 of the playbook would be a great one to run here. Let's do that.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
Now that you've said it, I kind of hope there is a talk back option here. I hope we look down on the side. Does Irsay's daughter travel? Is she going to have the headset on the sideline Sunday at Nissan?
Good question. Is this a road?
Is this a home and road thing? Is just a home thing?
Yeah, and also, is it always going to be silent at some point when the weather starts to get bad? Now, of course, in Indy they're fine, but like if you're on the road, is it then you just do it in the booth? Yeah, these are all very good questions.
Maybe so.
All very good questions. Ed says, "Man, imagine if Joe Dumars played on grass." Good one, Ed. Good one.
Liam says, "I'd like to see Joe strolling through the construction site with a pocket full of grass seed, slowly sprinkling them on the ground." Here's some grass for you.
Like
on
the
Shawshank
prison yard.
Here's some nice grass. Get the playing surface ready to go.
If we just start planting it now, it'll be perfect by
2027.
2027.
It's going to be beautiful. 615-737-1025, our phone number. Blake Bedingfield had some very interesting takes at paulkuharsky.com about what the Titans should already be considering after week 2. We will get into that coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Later today on ESPN 94.9 The Fan, the Sounds take on Louisville with first pitch at 6:15. Coverage also available on the Game Nashville app and at thegamenashville.com. Sounds baseball on ESPN 94.9 The Fan, presented by Twin Peaks and Family Leisure. Taking your thoughts on our phone and text lines, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. Joe, Blake Bedingfield, who, of course, writes at paulkuharski.com, is got a lot of things after the week 2 performance against the Rams that he touched on in his weekly piece at paulkuharski.com. And we'll get to some more of those here in just a few minutes. But one of the things that really stood out, he was talking about looking ahead and the outlook going forward for the Titans after the start and where they are as a franchise. And I'll just read a couple of lines here. It says, quote, "I know the Titans have only played 2 weeks, but this is a rebuilding year, and during those times, you must trade assets while they are healthy and playing at a level that has value. My focus going forward would be to trade players that won't be producers when Ward hits his prime. That is 2 years away. I trade L'Jarius Sneed, Jeffrey Simmons, and Calvin Ridley. I also look to shop Tyler Lockett, Arden Key, Draymond Jones, Sebastian Joseph Day, and Kevin Zeitler. The trade deadline isn't until November the 4th. That was Blake Bedingfield at paulkuharski.com. Joe, your thoughts?
All football players with half a pulse. You are gone. You get a Titan. You get a Titan. You get a Titan.
Everything must go.
Yeah, it's interesting. I understand. I like, obviously you take all these names together and you're like, wow, imagine how bad this football team could be. Could this possibly be? Could you create the worst NFL team of all time? But no, I don't disagree in theory with the idea of if you have someone who, and I think especially, see, I don't know about Ridley. I might like, is Ridley okay? This is year 2 of a 4-year, right?
Yeah. So you start catching the ball.
Well, that's a fair question, but I think even if it's not, look, you have to, like, you can't suck forever, man. Like you can't suck in 2026, right? So I think that someone, and they do seem to have good chemistry. I know it's not really bearing out in 2 games, but there are some things where we have to remember that we've seen 2 games and we haven't seen 9 games, right? So I think Ridley is someone I would want to keep around for Cam Ward, and you hope Iron Manor keeps growing, and you're going to have to go, certainly, I think, spend a pretty significant pick on a receiver in the next draft.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I don't, this season is not, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. And so of course you monitor that, and we got weeks ahead before you have to, like, if Sneed is going to be on the field enough and play as well as he did for the most part last week, I think that I could definitely see somebody being interested in him as a add-on, and certainly Simmons. If he's going to play, and frankly, I wouldn't be surprised at all if, obviously Jeff Simmons had, a plan to lose some weight, get a little bit quicker, get a little bit faster. And I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere in his mind I was like, maybe that trading deadline will be good to me. I wouldn't be shocked by that. But those are so I think Sneed and Simmons, I agree. Ridley, I think I'd keep him around for Cam Ward. And then, the other guys, you're not getting much for the other guys he mentioned there, Lockett, Key, Joseph Day. Yeah. I don't know about Zeitler either, just because, like, if Zeitler ends up playing well, I think I'm going to try to go ahead and keep some continuity and keep an offensive line in front of my young quarterback too.
Well, I wouldn't do any of this, at least for another few weeks.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
I know that Blake's not advocating like, hey, right this second, start trading everybody.
He's setting the stage.
So he's just looking. I mean, the title of the article, or this section of the article, is literally called "Looking Ahead." So I get it. Like, it's not like he's talking about right now, right this second. But I hear all this, Joe, and it just underscores even more to me how important this game is on Sunday. Like, they need to win a football game badly. They really do. Like, you've got people already talking about when the coach is going to get fired. We get people texting us throughout the show every day about who's out there that they could hire to replace the coach. You got, people talking about the trade deadline already 2 weeks into a season. Like, they need They need to win. And I heard D-May's talking about this, and I agree. Like, is Sunday's game against the Colts must win from the standpoint of, oh, well, if they can win this game, maybe they'll make the playoffs at the end of the year. No one believes that. So I understand that, when you're looking at the grand scheme of NFL games, Titans-Colts on Sunday is not going to rank very high in terms of importance. But I do think, like, from a fan base perspective, I mean, let's face it, you just had your home opener and couldn't sell it out. And people who were there were talking about how empty the stadium was for your number 1 overall pick's debut. That's not good. And I know there's a new stadium coming up. And basically, if you're a Titans fan out there that's interested in season tickets, your focus has shifted from the here and now to then of the new stadium. So it's in a weird kind of transition spot right now. I get all that. But if you go out there and you lose the Colts, and particularly if you just get thumped by the Colts this weekend and you're 0-3, you're a Titans fan looking at it and you're like, man, we got 4 more months of this crap that I'm just supposed to sit through and watch every day. Like, I'll go do something else with my time. Like, I think from that standpoint, like, give your fans something to rally around, at least for a week. Like, nobody thinks you, just because if you beat the Colts on Sunday, that you're going to be 10-7 at the end of the year, but give them something. Like, I think this game from that standpoint is huge on Sunday.
Yeah, it's a must win to stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
It's just, I agree. You're going to have a hard time. You're just going to have a hard time changing the conversation from all these big picture things, And again, we're already to the point of the games themselves are, it should be like excited for this matchup or that matchup. And, the division race, whatever, what your division rivals are doing, all stuff. It's already just talking about big picture stuff, people's jobs, and it's very early for that. Now, we knew that was the case going into the year, but still, it's like, can you do anything to distract from that to where it's like, okay, there's some success, something for people to point to and hold on to. And yeah, if you don't get it this week, as we've talked about, look ahead and then ahead. And, it's like you could see where it could really, really get ugly.
Now, I will say this. If we get a few more weeks down the road and we're having some of the same discussions, then I'm with Blake on the trade deadline stuff. I'd be moving everybody possible. Like, if your motto is going to be draft, develop, and then retain, well, let's get some draft picks in here. Let's get some draft picks and some draft capital ready to go. Look, I don't know that I'm convinced. I think you're going to have to see a little bit more here from Snead in terms of being available and staying on the field for a longer amount of time.
Agree.
Before some team out there is willing to be like, yep, I'll do that. I'll give up a significant pick for that. Simmons, I don't think there's any doubt. Like, if the Titans decide at some point here in the next few weeks that Jeffrey Simmons is available, somebody will offer them something worth considering in return for that. Ridley, we'll see on that front. But if it gets to that point here in a couple of weeks where it's clear that it's just going to be an absolute slog here, then you got to, if you're Borgonzi, you got to look at it and say, we got to get as much draft capital back as we possibly can, in my opinion.
I mean, I think it's already clear, but your guarantee that you've staked everything on that they'll win this weekend may happen. Then they go to the Texans, they go to the Cardinals, they have 3 straight road games, Texans, Cardinals, Raiders, then Vrabel comes in. I mean, okay, so what's the best case? Like when you get to, the weekend before the trading deadline is the Chargers. Okay, beat the Colts, fine. They're not going to win at the Texans. I'll give them one of the two between Cardinals and Raiders. Okay, so that would be 2 and help me out with math. That'd be 2-4. I guess they could beat Vrabel. So 3-4. Okay, they go lose at the Colts 3-5. So to me, best case scenario is 3-6 at the trading deadline. Are you holding off?
No.
Right. So I mean, in a way, yes, Bedingfield's premature because of course it won't and of course they could shock and win more of these games than that. But 3-6, like that would be, by the way, there'd be some good things that would have happened.
Yeah.
But still,
like won a football game.
But you're
a couple of them.
But I'm listening. Yeah, you're right.
Match their win total from a year ago.
Exactly. They've only they will have won half as many as they've lost, which is still way better than like last year. So I think they're going to be in the situation of seller,
Yeah.
and then it's just a matter of. But again, I'm not
But how
messing.
severe?
Yeah, but I'm not messing with anything that could hurt the performance of Cam Ward this year. So that's like Ridley, Zeitler, they're off the table for me. Any of the offensive pieces, I'm probably not messing with because like if anybody who's functioning, I'm not messing with that. But defensively, sure,
I'm good. Get rid of all.
Get rid of all.
Yeah. Like
I'm good.
I think on the offensive side,
All of it. It doesn't matter. Ridley's not a true one. Just get rid of the money.
But that's the thing. I'm with you on that. But like, what would somebody give you for Ridley? Like, let's say Ridley he is what he's been throughout his time with the Titans.
Doesn't matter.
Every now and then he's going to have a really good game, but it's very inconsistent. Like, what's somebody offering you for Ridley?
Oh, sorry. Hi.
Good morning, Joe.
Hello. A fourth, a fifth?
I'd take it.
Is that worth it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's not worth it. Cam Ward. Everybody likes to develop Cam Ward. Hey, Cam, who's he throwing to? That cardboard cutout. No, it's not worth the fourth-round pick.
The
Yeah.
targets for Elikai Manor are going to skyrocket.
Yeah, so then everybody else comes up. So now you got who? You got Tyler Lockett all over
Mason Kinsey.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Restrepo. What are you talking
Finally. Yes, Restrepo.
There
This
we
is
go.
our
discovered
path
it.
to Restrepo.
Yeah.
Restrepo will bring him to a high level.
615-737-1025, our phone number. More thoughts to get to on this front. Should the Titans begin preparing for a big sell-off at the trading deadline coming up? Plus some other observations from Blake Bedingfield that I think are pretty noteworthy that we'll get to. This is Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Hour number 2, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you on this Friday morning, taking your thoughts on our phone and text lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We are live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership where the buzz is always about great service. We'll have the Rex Rant with Joe Rexrode later this hour. Teron Davenport will be with us at 8 o'clock. We'll look ahead to the Titans and the Colts with him. Taking your thoughts on the Titans. Blake Bedingfield at paulkuharski.com talking about how, looking ahead, the Titans should start planning for the trading deadline and selling off basically anybody that he says is not going to be producers when Ward hits his prime, which he believes is 2 years away. So taking your thoughts on that. Joe, another thing that Bedingfield says, he goes through a section here about what he feels good about, what he doesn't feel good about. And there's a lot more about what he doesn't feel good about than what he feels good about right now with the Tennessee Titans. I want to hit on a couple of them with you. I want to start on this one. He says, Femi Oladejo has zero presence as a pass rusher. No impact at all. That's all he said about Femi Oladejo. Zero presence as a pass rusher. No impact at all. We've talked a lot about him. I understand he's a project. He's a second-round pick, and you're hoping here in a couple years he's a great player for you. To me, it is very discouraging to have somebody who's got a background in scouting and knows what this process looks like to look at Oladejo out there and come away with zero presence as a pass rusher.
Like nothing else to say. It's just zero.
So what do you make of that? And how long do you give this before you start looking at the Oladejo pick and it's fair to just say, what the heck were you guys doing with that pick?
Yeah, that's a good question. Because, you figure you're not going to have consistency. You're going to have some bad moments, right? Maybe whatever. You look like a rookie out there. I definitely, when he was drafted, the word project was immediately, was that accompanied the draft pick. So, okay, you figure you're not going to have some guy who comes in and is consistent, is a force, he gets 12 sacks as a rookie. But not like nothing? Like what does that mean? Like how do you go from, I'm sure there's some examples, but how do you go from nothing to all of a sudden being a difference maker who would warrant a second round pick? It's concerning. And I don't know the answer to your question, but I would say that, like, if we go through this entire year and there's just nothing, I mean, that can't be good. The Kevin Dodd thing was multiple years of, and again, that wasn't like the same sort of thing. It wasn't a project, but it was just very underwhelming and disappointing. And it took, multiple years. And then finally it was just like, yeah, the guy can't play, Again, there's a difference here in switching positions to edge, but yeah, you gotta be able to, you gotta make some impact, right? You gotta, as the season goes on, if you got to be able to show some improvement and show that you belong on an NFL field.
It's concerning to me. I'm with you. Like, I could live with you taking a guy in the second round that's a project as an edge rusher and him not playing a whole lot because, number one, you've got some edge rushers in front of him that you feel good about and maybe not seeing a lot of production from him that way. What is really concerning to me is, like, there's no edge rushers on this team. Like, Draymond Jones and Ard Key are replacement level players. You took a guy in the second round that just started playing the position, which on its own is fine. Like, that's okay. But I look at it and I just think that if he can't show you anything right now, like and look, maybe the Titans' evaluation of him is different than what Bedingfield says. But, like, having watched them play the first couple of weeks, I can't say I notice a whole lot when Oladejo's on the field, which is not good. Like, if there's nothing that you're seeing out there that says, oh, we feel good about that, like, isn't that a big problem? Like, even if he is the quote unquote project, like, you took him in the second round He should be showing you something.
Yeah. No,
even if it's not perfect.
A project should still flash and still be like, oh, okay. Yeah, project, not refined, not, there's a lot to work on technique-wise and consistency, but, oh, man, look, did you see that? Just that one speed rush or whatever. I mean, yeah, there should be some impact. You don't want to notice offensive linemen. You don't want to notice corners typically. You don't want to notice officials. You want to notice your edge rushers. Like you want to notice them. You want to at least see them need to be chipped at times, see them pressing a tackle and making life hard for him, even if he doesn't get to the quarterback. And so far, it's just like, is he on the field? I don't know. Was he on the field last series? I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Trevor says, I get they drafted for traits and what he could turn into, but maybe draft some dudes who've had success in college before taking flyers. Risky pick to come out of the gate for Mike Borgonzi. This from Trevor.
Yeah. And again, it's like you look at this draft class from the offensive perspective, and it seems like I think both of those fourth round receivers look pretty good for fourth rounders. Helm seems like a solid pick. Cam's the entire draft, right? Obviously. Yep. But yeah, that second round is so valuable. And I agree. You need someone, you should have a starter in the second round. Even if you're a good team, you should have a starter in the second round. And if not a starter, like if you're a really, really good team and maybe it's a little bit of a luxury pick, fine, but it's still someone who contributes and makes a difference in the second round. And it is, I go back to the Dodd comparison. The one thing about him was he had really done little in college. And then that year at Clemson in 2015, he had like, I think it was, especially I think in the playoff, he went nuts. He had like some huge sacks. And it was a little bit of kind of like, obviously it turned out to be fool's gold. He wasn't a consistent, but at least that was something.
Right.
I mean, this is, traits. Again, the whole idea is you got a value pick that he's actually going to be better than some of these guys who have had all this production because his ceiling is over here. And look, it's 2 games into his rookie season. So what is it possible that's how it turns out? Sure, it is. But
it's not off to a good start.
It's not off to a good start. You want to see something, and we're not seeing anything.
Well, and another thing that the Bedingfield touched on was exactly what we've been talking about this week, and that is Bill Callahan, like the decisions with personnel, right? Here we are talking about Dan Moore 2 weeks in. Latham goes down, and you're talking about Udo in his place, and John and Duco back in there, and it's just not changing his mind, waffling back and forth between those two. It's just Bill Callahan has had a great career to this point. It has not gone well for him in a Tennessee Titans outfit to this point. No, and Bedingfield basically just lays out everything we've talked about this week, from Leroy Watson to Sadiq Charles to Nicholas Petit-Frere, the whole thing. Like, it's just not been good.
No. So something needs to change for somebody for these Tennessee Titans. Corey on the text line, driven by Wilson County Hyundai, says, if the Titans get rid of all these players, what coach is going to want that job? Then he says a lot of other stuff. Corey, I mean, this is, you draft people, you sign people. I mean, look, the one player of all the players we're talking about where another coach would be like, ooh, they traded Simmons? Boy, that guy's yeah. But I mean, you think some coach would be like, ooh, I don't know, 30-something Calvin Ridley? I'm not touching that job. I mean, come on. I mean, the point is you get picks and you get more good young players in there. Now you have to make good picks, but again, that's what the people are paid to do here, right?
Yeah.
So we can fire everybody all over again if you want. I promise you that although if a coach had the Titans job and other jobs lined up, he might not have the Titans job at the top of his list. They'll get a coach. They'll get a coach who wants to be an NFL head coach because there's 32 of those jobs.
615-737-1025. Our phone number. Going to shift into some college football coming up next. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. This Sunday, the NFL game of the week on 94.9 The Fan is the Cowboys taking on the Bears at 3:25. NFL game of the week presented by Circa Sportsbook Kentucky and Macero in 12 South. We'll have the Rex Rant with Joe Rexrode coming up later this hour. Taking your thoughts in the meantime, 615-737-1025. Joe, when you look at the college football schedule before the year, I don't know that you looked at week 4 and said, that's the one I'm circling. It's going to be awesome. Like, we know how good the first week of college football was on paper. Some of those games lived up to it. Some of it, frankly, did not. But pretty good weekend to open things up here. And now here we are with week 4. And there's some good games going up this weekend. You know, Auburn, Oklahoma. I'm looking forward to that. You've got Utah and Texas Tech, which I know you're very excited about. Indiana, Illinois. Got some great games coming up this weekend. And you've come out with a piece on The Athletic talking about a word that, frankly, I don't know that we've ever been able to really use all that much in college football, but maybe now are we starting to shift in that direction? What word am I talking about, Joe?
Well, David Ubben used the word this week, which is part of why I wrote this. He said, parity is here in college football. And I said, man, that's a big statement now, you know. So the P word is, I don't think it's been anywhere near college football. I'm not sure I'm comfortable using it yet. But see, you just mentioned those games. So this weekend, for the first time, we have three ranked games between conference rivals. So you got 3 conference games. Again, do we care about conference games? Well, I mean, conference championships still matter. So from that perspective, you could say this is the best week since week 1. We all know week 1 was insane. But I think more people would say last week was a much better week, right? I mean, Georgia, Tennessee. I mean, I'm not talking about the quality of the games. I'm talking about going into the weekend because those are bigger brand names. I mean, who gets excited about when you say Indiana, Illinois? Woo! That's a big one in the Big Ten. Like they seriously never, ever play football games against each other that matter at all.
Yep.
Ever. And it's number 9 against 9. It's a huge game. So then you look at that and you look at, again, Texas Tech. We know what they've done, right? They've gone out there and they just say, hey, we'll just pay double what everybody else is, and we're just going to load up. You know, Utah has been a good program, but it's not like top brand name. And then, you know, Auburn, Oklahoma. You know, Auburn is, you know, little brother, if you will, in the state of Alabama. Sorry to all the Auburn fans, but I mean, that's, you know, right? I mean, that's Alabama fans will tell you that anyway. I mean, it's the number 2 team in the state of Alabama. I know well what it is to, you know, cover a number 2 team in a state, you know, like it or not, more people like the other team. So I think this week is a good example of, do we have parity? So what is parity? NFL parity, that'll never happen unless college football just completely becomes NFL.
There's too many teams.
And you cut. Yeah, exactly. But so I'll actually employ now. I quoted an AD in this story who said, I wouldn't use the P word, I'd use the V word. It's volatility. And I think that is a good point. In other words, you know, essentially, so he says quarterback's always been the most important position, so you can't keep a number 2 around, right? And so then you have these overhyped transfers. If they fail, you don't have options. So volatility at the top means hope at the bottom. And the point he brought up was, look at Vanderbilt, right? Vanderbilt's going to be a great example for everybody who believes there's parity or there's some degree of parity. So I also asked a GM in college football and said, yes, I actually think that it's parity. So this is his point. The Bamas of the world can't put their 3rd-year 5-star into the lineup now, right?
Yeah.
Now it might be their 1st-year 5-star, but there's a big difference between the two. And then, of course, you mentioned the Texas Techs that are diluting the talent with money. So parity, I guess it just depends on, it's semantics, right? It's like it will not be parity that you'll find in a professional league with a salary cap. Right? That's not the case. But I think there's more hope for more programs that, you know, coach, quarterback, money. If you can figure those out right now, Vanderbilt got Clark Lee doing a great job. Obviously, they got the quarterback, and they got people who are successful who are willing to invest in the program. If you can do that, you don't have to be Georgia, Ohio State, Penn State, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that's good.
Yeah.
So I guess it just kind of it depends on if you really believe that word applies.
I think it depends on how you're viewing parity, because in the regular season, I think it's undeniable, right? Like I think there's more parity. There's an opportunity to change your roster quicker than ever before. I mean, look at Texas Tech. Look what they did. Like, if you're bad one year, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to be bad the next year based on your roster and the flexibility of the transfer portal. Is it going to actually pay off in parity in the postseason? That's what I'm waiting to see. And that's where I have my doubts. Like, I mean, the Final Four last year in the college football playoff was Texas, Ohio State, Penn State, Notre Dame. I mean, that ain't parity. Like, that's the same type of programs that it's always been, right? Like, Georgia was right there in it as well. So what's that going to look like this year? Look, those teams, number one, they have the tradition. They have the money. They have the resources. And most of them have a coaching staff that you look at and like, yeah, they could put me in the NFL. So, like, there's all those things aren't going away. So I'm interested to see this year in the college football playoff. Like, is there a team that can make a run, like to get up to where it's not Ohio State and Georgia in the national championship game? Like, how much parity is there really? How limited is it once the playoff comes around? And the other thing is this, like, simple math would just tell you, like, the days, I'm not going to say they're over and that we're not going to see an undefeated national champion ever again, but you just have to play more games now, right? Like, when you have a 12-team playoff and they're going to 16, like, you're playing more games. So, like, you're probably not going to see that many undefeated national champions again, based on the way the college football is headed right now. So that by itself would create more parity.
Yeah, that's one thing I said in the piece was, how about a champion that doesn't make the blue chip list?
Exactly.
So that's Bud Elliott, who works for 24/7 Sports. He came up with that a long time ago. And so far, every team that has won it all has hit that benchmark, which is basically, it's just that of your last 4 classes, you have to have more 4 and 5 stars on your roster than you do 2 and 3 stars. So, like, for example, the most talented team in college football this year, Alabama Crimson Tide, 89% of the last 4 classes, either 4 or 5 stars. And then I think Ohio State is, like, right there with them, the top 2. Getting down to Tennessee now qualifies, by the way. At the bottom of that list, like 54%, I think it's Tennessee and Florida State are the bottom of the 18 teams. But so can a team like that win it? Now, TCU did play for the national championship. Now they got beat 1,000,000-0, but they beat Michigan in the semifinal. They did get to the title game. So, I mean, I think we'll have that. I think that at some point, you're in a tournament and we'll have that, but we'll see. It's like, I think when you play that many games, to your point, that's where depth does come into play.
Yeah.
But that's where the edge is not what it was. Like this GM saying, it's like, Alabama, I mean, they seriously used to have kids, 5-star kids who would wait 2 years.
Sure.
And then, okay, my turn I'll start now as a junior and I'll be drafted in the first round.
Right.
After my 1 year of starting at Alabama. And that's just not, they're going somewhere else to start earlier and get paid more. So that is where I think a team like a surprise team that has some luck, stays healthy, and gets that deep into the thing could break into the club.
Well, this is, we spend so much time in the college football offseason talking about all these things that are wrong with college football, right? And look, you're not going to find many people that are more mad about some of the things going on in college football than I am. And then, Joe, you get to Saturday and it's like, well, it's pretty great, man. Like, it's pretty awesome out here. And, I hate the playoff system. I don't like the 12-team playoff. I'm going to hate it even more when they go to 16, but guess who's going to be watching when they go to 16? Right here. That's what I do. So, like, it's just another reminder of, like, there are the parity conversation. It's hard to, like, what Vanderbilt's doing right now is awesome. Like, it's fun to watch. Well, Illinois got the number 9 team in the country. Like, I would have never thought that would be the case. So there are some parts about it and like the landscape of modern day college football that do make it pretty interesting in the regular season. Like I can't deny that.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, and in the old days, you would have, it's obviously different. Like you could have these teams that could get old, and you'd have like Georgia Tech, Bobby Ross in 1990, Georgia Tech, splits the national title with Colorado, like kind of out of nowhere. You'd have that here and there, but for the most part, it's been the usual. And you have a program that can rise up and kind of just out of nowhere become a power, like Miami did in the 80s. So, and the things like that happen. But now it's like year to year, it can vary widely, and teams can come out of nowhere, which I think it's fun.
Yep. 615-737-1025, our phone number. We'll take your thoughts on parity in college football. Does it exist? Plus, a team here locally that I think we're going to find out a lot about tomorrow that maybe you wouldn't otherwise think so if you just looked at the matchup on paper. We'll get into that. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Taking your thoughts on our phone and text lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. DVD with Willie Donick, Derek Mason, and Adam Vengen will be broadcasting live at the all-new Circa Sportsbook Kentucky in the Mint Gaming Hall this Monday prior to the Monday Night Football game. Head on up there, watch the Lions and the Ravens, plus ask about Circa's giveaway of a trip to Las Vegas for the Titans-Raiders game, which is coming up in October. We'll have the Rex Rate with Joe Rexrode here in just a few minutes at 7:45. Teron Davenport will be with us at 8 o'clock. Having a discussion on college football, and is there more and more parity that is coming in college football with the changes to NIL, with the transfer portal, all these things. Joe, I said the postseason, it's going to be interesting to see what that looks like, and if there's more teams that can break through in the college football playoff and create some matchups that aren't your normal type matchups when you get into the semifinals, when you get into the final. I think you can look at it from a couple of different areas. Number one, like I said, it's easier if you're a team that is not a traditional power to go out there and get some more talent via the transfer portal. So that could help you when it comes to the college football playoff. As I also said, though, there are more games. There's more games you got to get through. So more of an opportunity for those traditional powers to just eventually suffocate you if you're one of those teams, right? I think Washington's a good example a couple years ago. Great team. Kalen DeBoer, right? You had Michael Penix. They looked really good. They got to the national championship game. But when you get to the playoffs, 14 playoffs. You had to win one game to get to the national championship game. It's just harder to get there now because you've got more games. So I wonder what that's going to do to those teams like a Washington that nobody would say is a traditional power. Not impossible to get in the playoff, easier to get in the playoff, harder to advance all the way through the playoff now. So I'm interested to see how that plays out.
Yeah, it's the thing. It's like we're talking about the volatility, the loss of depth. These top teams don't have just waves of great backups, but it doesn't mean that if you have a less traditional power, or a quote unquote weaker team, maybe they have a few, quarterback that changes the math like Penix did. They had tremendous receivers too, Roma Dunze and those guys. So you assume their depth might even be more challenged, right? Than the team that brings in 4 and 5 stars as 80% of their recruiting class each year. So then the attrition hits them even more, right? In theory. So, yeah, I mean, I guess you could look at it and say you're just some of those teams are still built more. The top teams are still built more for a run like that. So it's going to be hard, but I still feel like we'll see someone sneak in and make a run, and it's probably going to have to do with the quarterback position more than anything.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. Joe, there's one team this weekend that you look at on paper here locally, and it's like, oh, great. What a matchup. Tennessee and Vanderbilt both. Tennessee's a 39.5-point favorite against UAB, and Vanderbilt's 27.5-point favorite against Georgia State. So, after a weekend last week where it was like, yes, Tennessee, Georgia, and yes, Vanderbilt, South Carolina, it kind of feels like two duds for them this weekend, and it probably will be. I do think from the Vanderbilt perspective, though, we could learn a little something about them, because I go back to last year, and one of the most inexplicable results of the entire season was Vanderbilt losing to Georgia State. It just made no sense at the time. Well, the way both teams went after that, it made no sense in the future. So I understand Vanderbilt is going to have that circled. It's at home this year. They're going to be determined to not let that happen again. But can you get not even just the Georgia State game? Can you get through these next two games if you're Vanderbilt and handle your business, not even by just winning the game? Can you get out there and dominate these next two games, Georgia State and Utah State, before you've got Alabama coming up on the road? If they do that, I think that's a really good sign for this group, because, last year they talked about that it was just a total lapse against Georgia State. This team can't do that, and I'm interested to see, if they go out there and they just boat race Georgia State and Utah State in their next two games. If I'm a Vanderbilt fan, I'm looking at that and I'm saying, yeah, I realize the quality of competition is not great there, but your team handling business in a way that they should handle business is a good sign that last year's team did not do.
Exactly. I think that's as much obviously the big wins over the big teams or and being able to compete in the SEC, all that stuff, but like just being able to crush teams like that is a big things are different outcome. This is more confirmation that things are different. And I'm interested to see like the crowds. Like again, how many Vanderbilt football fans, if you're a Vanderbilt football fan, first of all, how many times over the years have you had like a player that you were this excited to see play?
Right.
And also like the stadium has changed a lot. And it's like you feel like you can go in like all these other teams, you know, Tennessee fans are going to tailgate and have a fun day, and they're going to just, hey, let's blow out UAB and let's get some of the young guys in there and see some of the freshmen play. I mean, again, I'm with Kaharski. It seems ridiculous, right? When you take kind of step back and say, why do these games happen? But they do. And I don't see that changing. I don't see it completely going away. I think it could be reduced a little bit. But if you're a Vanderbilt fan and you just feel like, hey, we can just have a fun day, go tailgate, we're going to blow this team out. We're going to see some of our young players or some of our backups play, and yay, go home. Like that's just not a, like Vanderbilt white knuckling it against any team is, you know, is like usually what you're experiencing as a Vanderbilt fan.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's hard to look back at the Georgia State game last year if you're a Vanderbilt fan and just be devastated by it because of what happened after that, right? Like you took down Alabama. So obviously, like it ended up being fine and working out for you last year. But I mean, look, we had a conversation on the show the other day, and by the way, we're not the only ones, about Vanderbilt potentially at the end of the year being in contention for a college football playoff spot, right? Now, it's really early, and there's a lot of football left to be played. But what a shame it would be if you end up having a pretty good season in the SEC and you screw around with Utah State or Georgia State. By the way, I don't expect that to happen. Like, this Vanderbilt team, to me, feels a little different, and I think from a talent perspective, if they play close to the way they're capable of playing, they're going to overwhelm certainly Georgia State and maybe Utah State as well. So, like, I think they're going to be fine. But I do think, you know, it would be nice to see if you're a Vanderbilt fan, like, don't get into Georgia State or Utah State deep into the fourth quarter with the game still like, we're winning, but it doesn't feel great right now. Like, get out there and dominate. Like that should be the expectation for them.
Yeah. No, I it'll be disappointing if they don't win handily. And if there's any sort of fourth quarter drama, that's disappointing. And I don't expect it either. I really don't. But yeah, it is one of those, okay, let's see it. And I'll be interested to see like what the crowds are like too.
Yeah.
What will the crowds be like? We know, Vanderbilt in recent years, when it's been full because the visiting team brings a ton of people. Is there enough interest now for a game like this of people to just want to come out and watch their team?
Well, I
don't know. I'm very interested to see what that turnout will be.
I think the Charleston Southern game was a good sign on that front because there's a lot of people in the building for that one. Now, that was the first game of the year. That was renovations to the new stadium being complete at that point. So you're getting to see it for the first time. So you've seen it at this point. Now, granted, that's the only home game they've played to this point. So now they're back at it. So my guess is it's going to be a pretty good crowd. Like, I think there's some real excitement. I think you hit on something earlier that's a big part of it. Like, there's only so much time you've got left, even though I know that apparently, there's all these reports out there that he may try to play college football forever.
He refuted
that down and shot it down. But this is it. This is last year for Diego Pavia. There's only a certain amount of time you've got left to watch him there. And I think that matters in this discussion.
Yeah. Yeah. His lawyer is still pushing forward that, but he's done, he said. So there you go. So this is it.
5 years from now. Like, wow, Diego Pavia is still playing quarterback out there for Vanderbilt. It's amazing.
Dr. Pavia making it work. Big Ed Prez in the YouTube chat says parity and all that is good for ratings. I'm not a huge college football guy, but since NIL and the transfer portal, I tune in more because now the game is legally monetized and a bit more level. That's an interesting point. I don't hear too many people say I like it more with that. But there are, there are consequences of all these things, and some of them actually can be good.
Brandon and Hermitage says, as a Vandy fan, there's not a single fan talking about last year versus Georgia State. I don't really know what that means, but that's good. I mean, what I'm saying is make sure they're not talking about it while the game's going on.
I guarantee you your team is talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, of course. So, like, these guys beat us last year. What are we going to do about it? All right. But I do. I disagree with Brandon. I mean, I think some people are like, okay, you want to talk about the difference between this year's team and last year's team? Okay. Let's see it.
Go out there and smoke them.
Exactly. Like, we're past that stuff now. I firmly believe that this Vanderbilt team would have handled last year's Vanderbilt team. But we still haven't seen a ton of football yet. Bobby says, Vandy's never had a player like Pavi who has raised expectations like no other that I can recall. Cutler was special, but didn't have the surrounding kit. Yeah, Cutler was a talent, and you knew he'd have a shot in the NFL, and it had a nice NFL career. And I don't know what Pavia will do in that way, but like as far as someone who galvanizes a fan base and like face of the program guy who just, I mean,
it's not close.
No,
yeah.
It's special. So yeah, take advantage of the time.
615-737-1025, our phone number. The Rex Rant with Joe Rexrode coming up next. Teron Davenport will be with us at 8 o'clock. All that ahead, Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game.
Sometimes he wakes up on the wrong side of the bed. And sometimes he's just, well, Joe.
Awkward moment. Let's do it.
This is the Rex Rant, now on Robby and Rexrode.
And I do think this offensive line is built to pound. Most of their time is spent on grass.
What was the motivation for deciding to eat the grass?
I smoke weed constantly.
Always kind of just tasted a little piece of grass just to change the taste of my mouth.
I didn't say that grass is some magical fountain of youth where, ooh, it's like E.T. Oh, Elliot, ouch.
Titans need to get some grass.
I smoke weed constantly.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
You might want to sing it.
It is that time of the day here on the program, the Rex Rant with Joe Rexrode, brought to you by Functional Medicine of Tennessee. Rise up to better health. Check them out at functionalmedicineoftennessee.net. Joe Rexrode, the floor is yours.
Wow. A lot of grass talk out there.
Bermuda?
Sure. I mean, that's what I was talking about. But I like that term, grass. Get some grass, man. Like straight out of like 1971. All right, I'm going to talk today about technology, though. And I guess, first of all, I'll ask, and I know you guys wouldn't be at this point yet because you don't have kids with cell phones, but I'll ask any of the parents out there, if you have kids who have phones, do you track them? And if so, how do you track them? I will name names here. We track our children. Here in the Rexrode family, we track our children with Life 360. It is an app. Here it is right here, Life 360. And look, I find it handy. I can look and see where everybody is. So, it's something that I rely on, and I guess has been, I mean, you kind of feel bad, right? It's like we didn't get tracked at all and we lived and everything like that. But that's how it is. I mean, I'm not like, once you start doing it,
different times.
Yeah. Like once you start doing it, it's hard to not do it. Okay. So the other night, on Life 360, and I'm going to show you this, Robby, because this is this is what happened as a parent. Just tracking the kids, and the freshman up there at Michigan State, got two up there, got the senior, got a freshman. The freshman, here, I'm just going to show you what Life 360 showed us. I'm showing it to Robby.
That's not good.
It showed Brennan, and it said he was boating. So it said boating on in the Red Cedar River. I mean, it's 11:02 p.m. Do you understand?
Good time for a boat ride.
Well, I mean, so basically we're like, so either he's in the river, and by the way, the Red Cedar River is a place where kids have died, or he threw his phone in the river. Is that the best case scenario? Boating. Does that not convey like the phone is moving, yeah, like floating in the water, yeah, right?
Yeah.
So let me tell you, absolute, complete, pure, unbridled panic from Katie and me, calling, texting, going nuts. He's not answering. I mean, we had and again, it feels like an hour. It was probably about 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Or what? It might have been a little longer than that. Pure panic, trying to find him. Where is all this stuff? Then I call him and he answers like, what? What are you talking about? So what happened was that his phone died while he was walking on the bridge over the river.
Oh, okay. All right.
Which is crazy and sucks and sucked. But how does the app tell you boating?
Hey, it took a nice boat ride.
I mean, again, to me, I'm like, how is it saying that if the phone is not like floating in the water? Like, dude, it's
got to be some miles per hour to it, you'd think, in the water there.
So, yeah. So, I don't know. There's other alternatives. I may have to look at them now. But I would ask the people at Life 360, like, if you have a situation where a phone dies where someone is like near a body of water, the thing should not tell you that they're boating. Like, that is like it was a truly terrifying, awful parenting moment. And so basically, if anybody has a better idea than Life 360, I'm all ears on this. And also Life 360, like this cannot happen. Like, you have to adjust your app. Like, it's incredibly bad luck that the phone would die while on the bridge. Okay.
Yes.
But still, then, like, that's not how it should register, right? Am I crazy?
I would. Well, I don't know how the Life 360 app works. I don't know how it registered at all if the phone's off, right? Like, I don't know how there's even a point of registry with the phone being off.
Yeah, exactly.
If it doesn't just say location not found.
And which, again, if that were the case, it's like, okay, the phone died and you're not going to have
you're not thinking that he's in the water.
Yeah. Now, again, some people would say, well, aren't you glad that, like, at least had his last location? So, right, like, if something did happen, you can try to find. Yeah.
If it was on land, yes.
Right. Yeah, again, it's just like, at what point, like, I have seen this before. So, for example, like, I actually have had, like, a kid who, like, Caroline went, with friends and was on the lake.
Yeah.
And I tracked it. It was like, yeah, boating. Okay. Well, that makes sense. Boating. Right?
No, where they're boating.
How is
11:02 p.m.
Yeah.
Boat.
Yeah. How is
Cast it up. Here they go.
Yeah. Nice little pontoon, middle of Wednesday night, school night. How does walking ever get confused with boating? Okay. I need to know. So
Dennis
help
says,
me out, people.
Dennis says, Life 360, not completely accurate with location. Every time I look in on my MTSU kid, it shows him in a dumpster next to his class building.
Like, what are you doing in there, man?
Why are you in the dumpster? What are you looking for in there?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like it shows a big circle, and sometimes it looks like the person in question is, like next door or something. Yeah. But as long as like the circle is on the building that they're on, then I guess that's close enough. Right?
We do have a vote from John in Nashville of the Find My Apple device app. Just do the Apple. I don't know. A lot of people use Life 360 though. Life 360 is really the one I think I've heard of on this particular situation.
Is there competition? If someone out there is entrepreneurial, just saying, and make an app that doesn't say someone's boating when they walk across a bridge, I might be interested in your product. Just saying.
How big's this bridge?
Not that big. It's just like there's a bunch of bridges because like the Red Cedar goes through the campus. It's wow.
615-737-1025. Our phone number.
Matt says that's what a helicopter parent deserves. Dude, I'm not a helicopter parent, but I mean, just fine. You can say that, then that's fine. Okay. You say that, but then it's like, okay, well, if we have the technology to track our kids, are we not going to do it?
Yeah.
I really am not trying to be a helicopter parent.
I believe you.
You may be right, Matt.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. Teron Davenport will be with us coming up next. We'll look ahead to the Titans and the Colts. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 the game.
ESPN's Teron Davenport talking Titans now on Robby and Rexrode on ESPN 102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
It is that time of the week. Teron Davenport joins us now on the program, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. We head to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, to welcome him in. TD, good morning, man. How we doing?
Hey, good morning. How you guys?
Doing awesome, man. Appreciate you taking time to be with us. TD, I can't do 17 games of straight negativity, so I'm going to start this way. What are maybe a couple things that you've liked about the Tennessee Titans that you think is meaningful moving forward through the first two games of the season?
Well, I think the Alec Ironmanner emergence is one to really look at. I think when you look at and I actually wrote about it, how these guys, man, they got the green light. They're good to go. If there's a matchup outside that they like, they're welcome to take advantage of it. So you got to like that. I think, the defense, 6 out of 8 quarters has played well. So I would put that into account. That's something. After that, they run the ball okay, but after that, there's not really a whole lot to hang your head on.
I tried.
Well, I got through a minute of that. Okay, I was going to say I'll try to ask a positive question too, but I'm low on them. But let me ask you about a positive development in the NFL that I'm questioning. Do you think the Colts are for real? Do you think Daniel Jones and the Colts are for real, TD? Do you think there's a little bit of fool's gold here? What kind of an opportunity do you think this is for the Titans?
Yeah, I think there's some fool's gold. I think it's a good opportunity for them to get a win in the division, and this, if they can get a win this week, that'll really launch them. And it's, just really interesting what confidence does for a player. So I look at this Colts team. Daniel Jones has played well. I think it is somewhat a fool's gold, though, because I feel like the matchup, it works in the Titans' favor, especially when you look at, as you mentioned, on the outside. So
TD, it's been 2 weeks, so not a lot of sample size for Cam Ward. And the numbers aren't going to, blow you away or anything like that. But what have you made of what you've seen from Ward to this point, given the fact that, frankly, he's not gotten a lot of help from his receivers and his offensive line? What do you like? What do you want to see the next step being from Cam Ward moving ahead here?
Well, I think the next step is to be able to get the consistent check down. You want to get to that. He said that he needs to work through his progressions quicker when I asked him about that specifically. So that's something I think also just being able to believe it when he sees it. He's still in a little bit of that deer in headlights mode. You saw it on the strip sack. He looked at Chigakonkwo wide open, in that little on the flat there, and he didn't throw it. And if you throw that, that's a completion. You get a guy that could catch and run, and you don't get strip sacks. So, those are a couple of things I think he needs to get better. The game is going to start to slow down for him eventually, and he's going to start believing what he's seeing. And I think when he does that, the offense is going to be even better, and that's going to help in the sack category too, because like Brian Callahan said, that's not an O-line problem. That's an offense problem. So the blame has to be spread around.
With the O-line, look, we've talked about it. Right now, Dan Moore, he's got to play better, but right tackle obviously is a big concern. No participation from J.C. Latham. Obviously, we'll get the official word today. Do you expect him to be out? And if so, what would you do there? Obviously, they keep trying different things. I get Brian Callahan has kind of ruled out the idea of bumping Hance outside, but what do you think is the best answer?
Yeah.
Prayer.
I don't think Latham. Go ahead and have a little talk with Jesus. That might be what you need. But all jokes aside, I think I would try Udo out there again and just give him a chance, like from the start, as opposed to throwing him out there. And I know you got to stay ready, so you don't have to get ready. But there's still something too, like being, hey, all right, man, you need to go out there and you're up. Come on. I think there's something to that, and it makes it a little more difficult to have an impact. So if it were me, I would give Udo another shot and just tell Ojukwu, hey, look, be ready, because we just very well may turn to you.
So, TD, I don't want to overblow it because, it wasn't perfect by any stretch, but I was pleasantly surprised not only with his availability in the game, but L'Jarius Sneed's level of play in the game against the Rams. Did a good job against what we know is going to be a future Hall of Fame wide receiver in Devontae Adams. He got a couple of times too, which is going to happen against Adams. But I guess how encouraging was what you saw from him from the standpoint of trying to project that forward and what that can mean for him as he gets more reps under his belt?
Well, I think it was really encouraging because he was pretty sticky for the most part with his coverage, and he, even in the end zone, you saw him make some plays. So to me, I think it's something to build on. The fact that he played all those snaps, is pretty significant because he's a guy that obviously hadn't played, for quite some time, so that's a start, and just let him continue to work his way back.
How big of a issue could Tyler Warren be for the Titans on Sunday, TD? He looks pretty good right now.
Yeah, that's a matchup problem, and he's a guy that's kind of like, too big for DBs and too fast for linebackers. So it's the ultimate matchup, and they work to get him the football. So I think that's something that the Titans are going to have to figure out. Denard Wilson's got to look at closely. But yeah, it's a matchup problem without a doubt. And you got to make sure that not only him, Josh Downs, A.D. Mitchell, Alec Pierce, getting vertical, and obviously Michael Pittman, as well. So they're stacked with weapons. And oh, by the way, the last time this team faced the Titans, Jonathan Taylor broke off a smooth 216. So
yeah,
you got to worry about that too.
Yeah, that could be a big issue. So TD, it's very early with Oladejo in this process. We were talking about Blake Bedingfield earlier in the week, basically saying that he's seen zero from Oladejo to this point on tape. So first off, what have you seen? Do you agree with that assessment? And if you do, like at what point, even though it's a second round pick and it's 2 games into his rookie year, do you start to worry about that?
Yeah, zero is pretty harsh. I wouldn't say I saw zero. He's getting some pressures. I think the big thing is just the way he's holding up against the run and setting that edge. I mean, there was a play last week where he made the tackle by blowing up the tight end and throwing him into the running back. Those are the types of things, to me, that's something. Obviously, he's not, Javon Curse, and that's okay. He's still a pretty solid player with a lot of potential.
So, TD, back to Cam Ward. We were talking about this earlier because he has mentioned it more than once, and frankly, I very much appreciate it because I couldn't agree more with the idea of grass practice field, and then obviously you have a turf playing field for your games. To me, the data shows that it is safer overall. Obviously, it's more expensive. The Titans still could do like what Arizona does in the new stadium and do the trays of grass. I mean, what do you think about that, first of all? Do you think it's that big of a deal? I know the turf has gotten better, much better than it used to be. And do you see any scenario where the Titans would actually consider this? I mean, even because the franchise quarterback is talking about it.
Yeah, I don't think it's something they do at all. It's fun to talk about, and it's pretty cool that he's lobbying for it. And they're not doing that. I mean, you know how much money it was to shift to the other, so they're not doing that. And I mean, they did research and everything, and they feel that was the right thing for them. So that's where they're at.
Well, again, but I'm saying like at the new place, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I know now they're not going back. I know they're not going back at Nissan, but in 27, because they've already said they're not going to do that. But to me, it's like, and it will be more, but I just wonder if maybe there'd be a consideration for that now.
Yeah, that's a good question. But I mean, they're going to have to, because you have the roof there. So it would be there's a way of planning that they have to do to account for that. So I doubt it from that. Let's say they're going to be in Arizona in a couple weeks, and maybe they'll see how the Cardinals work, and have that field that goes in and out of the stadium to be able to get the sun and rain and all the things that need to work.
TD, great stuff as always, man. Appreciate you taking time to be with us. Have fun this weekend, and we will talk to you next week. Teron Davenport, our guest here on Robby and Rexrode, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. We'll react to what TD had to say, take another look at the Titans and the Colts, and we'll see coming up at 8:30 if Ian and Joe have enough courage to join me in predicting a Titans win this weekend. All that ahead. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. If you're going to Titans Colts this Sunday, stop by John Bon Jovi's before you head to Nissan Stadium and join us for the pregame show. Big Joe, Derek Mason, and Chris Sanders from 9:30 to 11:30. Pregame show brought to you by Parman Tractor and Equipment, Old National Bank, Circus Sportsbook Kentucky, and Tennessee Brew Works. Also, big game tomorrow. Commodores back at First Bank Stadium and taking on Georgia State. Pregame at 5 o'clock. On 102.5 The Game. Kickoff at 6:30. Vanderbilt football brought to you by Gary Force Acura, Jimmy Kelly's Steakhouse, and Smoky Mountain Tops. We'll have Pigskin Pick'em coming up here in just a few minutes, and we will make our Titans and Colts picks, among other games that is coming up. TD talking about a lot of things there. The positives did not have a long list. We did not mention special teams there, as somebody on the text line pointed out. The special teams have been very good.
That's right.
To this point. So another positive to add to the list. It is interesting, like that next level for Ward, kind of seeing the check downs in front of him. And Bedingfield mentioned that in his piece too, of he passed up on Lockett a couple times, who was wide open to get down the field to a deeper target, and it did not work out. So that next step for Ward, could you handle just taking what the defense gives you at times and being happy with that? We'll see. I don't want to take the playmaking totally out of him, but like if Lockett's wide open for a 6-yard gain, sometimes that's the right play to make.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and there's some times when he's passed some of that up to try to do something bigger, which I think it's just you just have to have a feel. Like sometimes you take the short stuff and you just keep it moving, but you can't always do that either, right? Like you're not going to score enough points if you try to methodically drive the football every time. We know that. Yeah. Something is going to happen. A holding penalty will happen. A ball will get tipped.
Especially this team.
Well, right. So chunk plays, you do need to at times be like, you know what? Yes, I got 6 yards right now, but I got a shot with this one. But then it's that balance of also you can't go 3 and out all the time or have turnovers because you're doing that. The Titans, by the way, are closely monitoring our show as we talk about the grass. Like, this would be a fantasy for Stilly if he got texted during the.
I told you, I dictate policy in this town.
My Stilly's really gotten out of practice, but I
thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. It's it's gotten a little weird. The point being made to me is that so you need to have these trays in the new stadium for the grass.
Yeah.
And so you have to have like the storage for that, which like what Arizona does.
Sure.
The Titans, rent the new stadium, and then there's 100-foot perimeter, and then the city has the rest. They're trying to develop. So in other words, not feasible because there's not room in the perimeter around the stadium.
Okay.
I say find a way and levitate the thing if you need to, but hey, it's not my money. Okay.
Suspend it in the air.
Yeah, exactly. And then also a point being made, the grass was bad. We talked about that. I understand that. But as far as the interesting thing here too, Titans practice on both turf and grass because we play on both turf and grass away games. Okay. Well, then that was a really flawed approach for decades when you played on grass and practice on grass and played in turf stadiums away. So boy, that was to me, it's like, I would rather you play the exact same field at your home stadium, which is 8 or 9 games.
Yeah.
And then you also know a handful of the other ones will be that too. Then that
you're all about the grass is what we're getting at here.
Yeah. I like grass.
And you are pissed off for greatness that they do not have the grass. Is what we've determined on the show.
Keep fighting the good fight, Cam.
You and Cam Ward.
Cam and I will keep fighting. Find a way.
In the building.
Find a way.
We'll see if it happens.
Yeah.
We have made the Colts fans mad again. We'll get to that here in a few minutes. Let's go to 1025 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in Adam in Portland to the program. Adam, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Dude, it's been like probably in the past 26 years, I very rarely pick against the Titans. So this is especially to get thwarted at home, but I'm picking 31-3 Colts. And I'm hoping that it's bad enough that it gets our coach fired. This is an exercise I want you to do with me, Robby, if you would, because I think we're gonna get thwarted. But it's not because of our players, man. I love our players. I like what Berganti's doing. It's because of our coach. I hate our coach. I hate his dad. I think they suck. Take them and put them.
Adam, come on.
Hate. Take them and put them on the Packers, and then give me LaFleur. And what's the season look like? What's our outcome look like? What's our record?
What do you think? What do you think it is? You put Matt LaFleur on this team. I want you to tell me what the record is.
All right, so the Packers are 0-2, and we are 1-1 with a really good chance of being 2-0.
So okay, what's the whole season plays out? Matt LaFleur coaches this team. What's your season record?
9-10 wins.
Okay,
maybe. We got a good defense.
Bye.
Dude.
Come on.
9 or 10 wins. 9 or 10 wins, because all it takes is competency right now. It doesn't even take me a special.
You don't notice the players, so you're not noticing the players. This is all the coaching. The coaches are screwing up these great players.
The coach, everybody's got pros, dude, but a lot of it's got to be with, can you move a pocket and put an extra tight end? It's that simple. And he doesn't do it. He's like, hey, Cam,
Yeah, he does.
good luck, dude.
They actually did move the pocket with pretty good success last week.
Thank you, Adam.
It's funny because Bedingfield, by the way, we were reading Bedingfield's report. Yeah. He was like, this is the best play calling, play design, all that stuff that Callahan's had. He did a lot of good things. I mean, come on.
Now, look, I agree that they would be a better team with Matt LaFleur.
Sure. Like, I agree that Matt LaFleur is a better
friend.
coach than Brian Callahan. Yeah. And if you agree with that, then you really have come a long way.
I do.
But, like, come on, Adam. Come on. Like, you're Adam is taking
playoff team.
Yeah, Adam's taking the blame pie, and I understand you get fixated on something and you just want it to change. And so I get fans, look, you have a right to be mad about and questioning of Brian Callahan and Bill Callahan, all that stuff. But guys, they still suck as a team. Okay, let's not take away the credit for the state of the roster completely either.
One texter says Adam from Portland likes grass too, apparently. Add it to the list.
Well, maybe not enough. Maybe take a few puffs with all the hate. We don't need to hate anybody. Okay? It's all love, man. It's all love. I smoke weed constantly.
Ben from Cumberland City and I have been going back and forth about, whether or not the Colts are fool's gold. We'll find out as they move forward here. He does say this: I'm a Colts fan that loves this show. I text in frequently, but man, Colts Titans week is hard due to the lack of actual reporting. It's always hate. I'm a Colts fan in Middle Tennessee. I've grown up not to hate the Titans as much. I hear nonstop Titans talk. It's kind of hard to. Well, Ben, we love you. We do. We appreciate you listening. But we are a sports talk radio show in Nashville, Tennessee. So yes, it is nonstop Titans talk.
Yeah, it's kind of a strange how that works, isn't it?
Yeah.
You see, Indy Ben's weighed in,
and like frankly, it's not really my job to report on the Colts either.
Yeah. We'll try to weave in some Colts today. Maybe we could do like Colts live. I mean,
we're not reporting on the Colts.
We like Milwaukee sports. Why can't we do some Indy sports?
That's true.
Indy Ben says, hilarious to me that TD and pretty much all of you Titans media keep harping on all the things the Titans have to worry about when facing this Indy offense, but then you expect to win on Sunday and think it's fool's gold.
Titans are winning.
Indy Ben has finally weighed in. I'm very disappointed that Indy Ben has not been talking more trash like that. Yeah, I mean, I think there is some fool's gold, Ben. Is Indy Ben? You're all in on Indy? Indiana Jones. You're all in.
Ben from Cumberland City was acting like his first text was talking about, it's amazing how they've just lucked into all this in the NFL. I'm like, well, it's been 2 weeks. Like, we see this happen every year in the NFL. Yes. And I'm not even saying that this is going to happen to the Colts, but I would like to direct your attention to the New Orleans Saints last year, who started 2-0 and scored 47 against Carolina and 44 against the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, yeah.
So they were, but in their first 2 games, in the mid-40s, averaging points, 2-0, looking great. And then they lost 7 games in a row and ended up 5-12.
Oh, boy.
So, again,
that's the Colts,
I'm not
says
saying,
Robby.
I'm not saying that's what's going to happen to the Colts. But to sit here and act like we don't see this happen every year in the NFL, where a team gets off to a good start that really in the grand scheme of things isn't always all that good. I mean, come on. We see this all the time.
I think Indy's skill guys, it is good. Like Pittman's healthy now and Warren. That's a good group. And right now Jonathan Taylor's healthy. They're good. And they're a fine, their roster's pretty good. But again, the Dolphins are cheeks. Can we all agree? The Dolphins, they put up a fight last night, and then reality.
By the way, the Titans are cheeks too. So
yeah, but also the Titans should have beat the Broncos just like the Colts did when this amazing, hey, let's line up for a 60-yarder. Oh, that's a little too far away, but thank you for the penalty. Look, good for the Colts. Let's take it easy. This is going to be, I think, a competitive football game Sunday. If I'm wrong about that, I won't be as wrong as Robby, who thinks the Titans are going to win by 30. Have some of that, Indy Ben.
We're going to be coming in on Monday, and the final score will be 24-21 Titans, as I've said repeatedly this week. Pigskin Pick'em coming up next. We'll pick this game. We'll see if Ian and Joe have the courage to join me picking the Titans, and we'll get to some college football games as well. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game.
Now, it's time for Pigskin Pick'em with Robby and Rexrode on ESPN 1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
It is time. Pigskin Pick'em here on the program. Your favorite segment of the week. And if you've been listening to Ian Safar, it is your favorite segment of the week because, man, is he on a roll to begin the season. Ian Safar, 5-1 last week with his lock. We all had a pretty good week. 5-1 with his lock. Rexrode 4-2 with his lock. I'm 4-2 without a lock, which brings the overall standings in the competition to this. Ian Safar, through 3 weeks, Joe, 14-4. 14-4. 3-0 in his locks, 17 points. Joe Rexrode, 8-10 overall. Had a bad first week. Has rebounded nicely since then. 3-0 on his locks, 11 points. I'm 10-8 overall. I can't get a lock to save my life. 0-3 on my locks, 10 points in last place in the competition. With that in mind, we begin with our first game for this week. The UAB Blazers heading into Knoxville tomorrow to Neyland Stadium to take on the Tennessee Volunteers. Tennessee, a 39.5-point favorite in that game. Ian Safar, you are in first place. You go first. The Vols favored by 39.5.
Yeah, I'm a little bit torn on this one. The Vols coming off, playing very well, of course, coming off a emotional game, a physical game against Georgia. I think UAB is not good, but I don't know if they're terrible. 39.5. I mean, that's a 50-10 type of score. I think I'm actually going to take UAB to squeeze this one out to cover that one.
Going UAB plus 39.5 in this one. Joe Rexrode, UAB, Tennessee.
I'm just going to assume that somewhere along the way, Trent Dilfer pissed off Josh Heupel. So give me the Vols.
I've learned that the Vols kind of cover in these situations. I think they're going to cover. What's weird is
I hate having a pick with you and against Ian. I feel like we're both going to lose.
Well, we might. The interesting part of this on the FanDuel Sportsbook is, it's a 39.5 point spread. And then you look at the over and under and it's like 69.5. And it's like, you think Tennessee's going to win by it's like 50-8? Or you think it's going to be like 65-10? Like what's going to be the score?
Well, yeah, it's the thing. If that's the over under, they think it's more like 60 to
or is it
10.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I'll go Tennessee minus 39.5. They'll keep throwing the ball. That's what I feel good about in these picks with Tennessee specifically is when the backups come in, they still throw it.
Yes.
They still chuck it. So I'll go Tennessee minus 39.5. Georgia State and Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, a 27.5 point favorite. Joe Rexrode, we begin with you.
Yeah, I definitely like that half point off 28 because I think it's going to be something like that, something like 38-10. So give me Vanderbilt.
Give me the Doors. I've gone against the Doors the last 2 weeks. I'm not doing it again. Give me Vanderbilt minus 27.5 in a revenge game against Georgia State. Ian Safar, Vanderbilt favored by 27.5.
Also a little bit worried about the letdown factor off a big game here, Vandy, but having lost to Georgia State last year, I think it was last year, right?
Yep.
And so yeah, I'm also going to take the 27.5 with Vandy to cover. Yes.
Vandy minus the 27.5, a clean sweep here on the program. The Titans and the Colts coming up Sunday.
We know what you're doing.
At Nissan Stadium. Colts a 4.5 point favorite in this game. Titans lock. Give me the Tennessee Titans. Not only to cover the plus 4.5, they will win 24-21. Lock on the Tennessee Titans for perhaps the only time this year. Ian Safar, Colts favored by 4.5.
This one was tough too. I think I'm also going to take the Titans to cover.
Yes.
Yeah.
Going Titans to cover.
Probably. I don't know if they'll win, but I think it'll be close enough. 4.5 plus 4.5 Titans. I'm going to take it.
I need a score prediction from you. And who's winning?
Give me Colts 27-23.
Okay. Joe Rexrode, Colts favored by 4.5 in this game.
Colts 23, Titans 17. Give me the Colts.
Going with the Colts. So to answer the question, Joe Rexrode did not have enough courage to join me in picking the Tennessee Titans.
I had the courage in giving them 17.
Yeah, it's real great. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That's what Titans fans are waiting for. We move to the individual portion of the program. Ian Safar, your first individual selection.
Okay. This one kind of out there. Give me the Saints. Plus 7.5 at Seattle.
Oh, I like it. Saints plus 7.5 against the Seahawks. Also a team like the Titans that you're not going to see people pick a whole lot.
So, yeah, the extra half a point.
I like it.
You know, little Saints are not good. But, yeah, I'm going for it.
I like it. Saints plus 7.5. Joe Rexrode, your first individual selection.
Go Seahawks. We need this to become a better competition. I'm big this week. I'm big on the home faves. Home faves in certain, but actually, this is not a home fave. This is Oregon State. Oh no, it is. I'm sorry, it is. And it's a little bit surprising. Oregon State is terrible. They're at Oregon, in-state rivalry. Oregon's minus 34.5. Give me Oregon and just give me Oregon.
Oregon.
I got to figure out which one of these I want to make a lock, but I'll just give me Oregon.
Oregon minus 34.5. Rexrode's first individual selection. Give me the Oklahoma Sooners minus 6.5 against Auburn. They're going to win by 3 touchdowns in this game. Oklahoma minus 6.5 against Auburn.
You've done this against Auburn before, heading out there to the Plains. Didn't work out for you. Not that well. I'm just saying.
That's true.
You hate Auburn, don't you?
I actually kind of like Auburn. Anybody that pisses off Alabama, I'm cool with. Oklahoma minus 6.5 against Auburn. Joe Rexrode, your second individual selection.
All right, Purdue at Notre Dame. Notre Dame minus 25.5. I know that Notre Dame's defense has been problematic, and they've lost something there for sure. They are going to absolutely put a number on the Boilers. Okay, give me Notre Dame. Make that one my lock minus 25.5.
Rexrode locking down on the Irish minus 25.5 against Purdue coming up this weekend. Give me the Atlanta Falcons minus 5.5 against Joe Rexrode's beloved Carolina Panthers. I think this is quickly coming to an end for Bryce Young out there in Carolina, and it will continue this weekend. Give me the Falcons minus 5.5 against the Carolina Panthers. Ian Safar, your second individual selection.
Okay, I'm going to go with an under in this one.
Here we go.
NFL under Las Vegas at Washington. A nooner, early game for Vegas. Jaden Daniels, iffy. 44.5 under. Make it my lock.
Woo. Locking down on the under 44.5. Might see Marcus in the game. May see Marcus Mariota.
He's about to blow your over-under up there, buddy.
And Gino's off to a fantastic start, too. So, we'll see.
Yeah.
A little more Tom Brady in the headset.
Could be some tough football out there. For my final pick, am I going to stay up to watch it? Probably not. But give me Michigan State plus 18.5 against USC. Late night, Trojans will be lulled to sleep out there. They got their head coach having to write a letter apparently to his fan base to show up to the game. So give me Michigan State, Sparty, plus the 18.5 against USC. Ian Safar, your final individual selection.
Okay. I'm going to stick with AFC South battle. Houston, plus 1.5 at Jacksonville. Give me Houston to not start 0-3.
Texans plus 1.5 against the Jags. Got Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence barking at each other out there.
That is a surprising line. A little bit, right? To me, maybe a little bit.
I mean, no mess with Duval.
I guess.
Texans plus 1.5 against the Jags. Joe Rexrode, your final individual selection.
I should do like listener's choice here. I'm looking at Temple, Georgia Tech minus 23.5. I'm also seeing the Chiefs only minus 5.5 for the Giants. Oh, and then I was going to lock in like the Ravens minus 4.5 against the Lions. Ravens going to win that by 3 touchdowns. Which one do I do?
I don't know.
I've already used my. Can I switch my lock?
Nope.
I can't switch my lock. Gosh dang it. Notre Dame, don't screw this up. You know what? I'm going to stick with college football. Temple at Georgia Tech minus 23.5. Georgia Tech will win by more than that. Give me the rambling wreck from Georgia Tech. I'll just ignore the NFL.
23.5?
23.5.
Georgia Tech minus 23.5 against Temple. Ian, did you have a lock? You did.
Yeah, I locked the under.
Locked in that
I'm
under.
44.5 on Vegas, Washington.
You had a lock too called the Tennis Cheeks Tight Buns. Congratulations.
I don't want to hear a word from you two on Monday. If they win this game Sunday,
hey, I picked them to cover.
The first 5 minutes is going to belong to me on Monday morning.
I'm here for it, man. I'm here for you to
the floor is yours.
Absolutely take it over and just give your Oscar.
Tighten up, baby. Let's go. Brian Callahan, you better not let me down.
It's your time.
Or you're not going to like Monday morning. We'll take your final thoughts on the Titans and the Colts this weekend in college football coming up next. 615-737-1025. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode. I got some tickets to give away. A pair of VIP tickets to the Nashville Oktoberfest for Sunday, October the 5th. Caller number 3, 615-737-1025. Caller 3 will win a pair of tickets, a VIP tickets to the Nashville Oktoberfest coming up on Sunday, October the 5th. MTSU back in action this weekend, hosting Marshall at Floyd Stadium at 6 o'clock. You can catch all the action on Totally Hits 93.3 with coverage also available on the Totally Hits Nashville app and at totallyhitsnashville.com. Trevor, very much looking forward to the Titans theme victory song that I will select on Monday morning after the 24-21 win against the Indianapolis Colts.
We want you to have your own. You're going to come up with your own? You're going to pen a song.
Well, I might do that.
The Titans love song. Or we just play with the Tennessee Oilers.
I mean, that's my favorite one.
That's the default.
Yeah.
A lot of people on the text line are talking about James Williamson being the antidote to Tyler Warren. I don't know if I buy that one. I mean, James Williamson can run.
It's James Williams, so.
Dang it, Colin Shelbyville. You're turning me into Kaharski here.
I don't know who James Williamson is, but if he could help the Titans this weekend, I'm all for it.
This Jason Williamson character, he can really cover tight ends. Yeah, sorry, James Williams. Yeah, I don't know if I don't know, man.
Look,
I'm bored with that one.
I hope James Williams has a nice career in the NFL, but the guy not starting for the Tennessee Titans, and you think that he's like the secret shutdown weapon to Tyler Warren.
He's the tight end eraser
because he used to play safety.
He's the tight end eraser.
Well, we'll see.
He's the next. He's the next Dane Crookshank.
I hope so.
Who came in and just said, "Travis Kelce,
James Williams,
you're done."
Could be a huge part of the reason why the Titans walk off the field with the 24-21 win on Sunday.
Yeah, you might need it.
Might need him.
You might need him.
I hope so.
Just a couple picks.
That Tyler Warren
blanket
pretty good,
coverage. Though, huh? Yeah, no, he is good. No, look, their offensive skill is it's downs. Obviously again, Pittman, Pierce. Made a huge play. Some huge plays last week. It's a good group to distribute the ball to, especially if you have Jonathan Taylor running like this, and he looks great. He's still, you forget, right? When a guy gets hurt and kind of other backs emerge in the league. Of course, Derrick Henry's still up there at the top. But Jonathan Taylor is, when he's right, top 5 back. I think that's fair to say. Top 5, 6,
6 or 7. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, all right. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Right now he's good. Do I trust him to stay healthy all year? No, but he is now.
A couple of things to monitor today on the injury front for the Titans. J.C. Latham has not practiced yet this week with the hip injury. We'll see what that looks like today. Not sounding great that he's not practiced at this point, so that's a huge deal.
Yeah.
L'Jarius Sneed has not practiced with the back injury to this point this week. Now, Kuharski made it seem like the other day that he doesn't think that's going to end up being a big deal, but we'll see.
I trust you, Kuharski. I'm trusting you.
I'll tell you another one that's interesting, and I'm not panicking or anything, but Jarvis Brownlee showed up on the injury report on Thursday. Now, he was a limited participant on Thursday, so it's not like he just wasn't out there. But he wasn't on the injury report Wednesday. He's on there Thursday, so we'll see what that means for his status moving forward. Sweat has been limited the last couple of days with an ankle. He said earlier this week that if it's up to him, he's going to go. So we'll see. And Zeitler with the bicep did not practice Wednesday, limited yesterday. So good to see him back out, at least in a limited capacity.
Yeah, it's getting a little better with him. Now, Sweat's important. Again, whether Sweat ever becomes a quarterback effector, I don't know. But a team like this that wants to run the ball and can do it at a high level. Yeah. Having Sweat up front in the middle of that line to help Simmons out a little bit, pretty important in this matchup.
Yeah. And, obviously, again, hopefully Sneed's out there ready to go. Hopefully the Brownlee thing's not that serious, because if your top 2 corners on the outside are banged up, that's probably not a good sign for you.
Yeah, I wonder if Brownlee hurt his ankle in practice yesterday.
Probably.
And left.
Probably so.
In the middle of it.
Probably during the week injury. So
hopefully,
not great. Because their corner depth is not great.
No, it is not. No, it is not. So we'll see what happens on that front. I said it earlier in the show. This is not, it's not like it's a must win from the standpoint of, well, if the Titans want to keep their playoff hopes alive, they better win this game against Indianapolis. We all know the score. We all know the playoffs ain't happening this year for the Titans. I do think this is a big game for your fan base. Like, you've lost a lot. You won 1 game at Nissan Stadium last year, and it came in overtime, and you had to hold on to do it. They've seen a lot of bad football played at that stadium. You had a home opener where the announced attendance was what it was, but everybody saw the crowd shots. Like, there wasn't a whole lot of people in the stadium for your number 1 overall picks home debut. Like the fan base is looking at this and they're tired of losing. They're tired of everything that we've talked about with the Titans over the last couple of years. This would be a great game to go out there and win against your divisional rival.
Yeah, it's a crucial change the discussion thing, you know?
Yeah.
It's because it's not getting easier, and it hasn't just been an 0-2 start. It's an 0-2 start accompanied by a lot of things that are really concerning, and a lot of people are upset with it. And some people like Adam in Portland is really upset with it. Maybe too upset with it. Maybe too much blame on the coaches, but Brian Callahan, to me, like, he needs a win.
Yep. Badly
in this game, just to cool things off, you know. And again, and I agree with TD. You know, confidence. I mean, it's fickle, and it's fleeting. And right now, they just seem to be a team that has picked up from last year, where it's like we're going to find a way to lose a game. And you know, doesn't mean that winning this game all of a sudden they're going to get on some kind of a roll. I doubt it because of what they have, but a little bit of confidence with a few people, you know, a few guys on this team. You know, I think that they have some promising things on defense. Special teams has been really good.
Yep. And
they're running the ball. You know, they need to block. They need to protect their quarterback, and it's going to be a challenge because they don't have Latham. I mean, the Colts aren't the last two teams in terms of pass rush, but Latu and, you know, Pay and those guys, they're just looking at this matchup eagerly. I promise you.
Well, big week for Dan Moore too. Like, you're not going up against elite pass rushers
because the right tackle is going to need to be helped.
The right tackle is going to need to be helped. So, like, can you hold your own in this game? He's not done it through the first two games. Can you hold your own in this game? And if you can't, it's like, oh boy, like, here we go again at left tackle. Joe, quickly, the college football game you're most looking forward to this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, Texas Tech, Utah, because I just really want to see, okay, Texas Tech, all that talent. They've blown out a couple bad teams. Let's see it. And again, Devin Dampier is the Heisman candidate. A lot of people don't know yet, but I think, especially if they win this game, he is an electric player. So don't miss that game. It's in the early window tomorrow.
Looking forward to a big weekend in college football. We'll be back Monday morning to recap Titans and Colts, and a big win for the Titans. Next one up for Jake Lyman coming up next. You're listening to 102.5 The Game.